All right, task 1 writing. Task 1 writing. Okay? What are the different types of graphs and whatever we're going to get? Who remembers those? Okay, you got a bar chart. Got a pie chart. We'll put process down there. Tables. Line graphs. Maps. And okay, in your books they said that process was kind of the same thing, but we want to add on a diagram. Okay? Because a process is first, next, then, after, da-da-da-da-da, right? But a diagram will just be different images of something, and you have to do what with them?
Compare.
Compare and contrast. English power, absolutely. That's your main goal here. To compare and contrast between the statistics. Alright, just to give you kind of an idea, they look like bar charts that look like that. Pie charts look like a pie. That's my piece pie chart. Tables would be categories with a bunch of numbers. The 1, 2, 3. Today, tomorrow, and of course, when we missed that, numbers. 53%, 47%. Okay? Line graphs look like this. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Diagrams would be different pictures of things. I don't want to draw a picture. Maps, difficult to draw. Processes would be something first, next, then, after, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so. What is the normal, usual structure? Okay, you have an introduction. What goes in that introduction for a task 1?
What the graph shows. Talking about what the graph shows.
Okay. They're going to paraphrase it. Paraphrase the task. Okay, and to review with you, that's the words, right, that are in the task. And then what else comes next? What's super important?
Overall, general trend.
Overview. Now, if you remember, if you look in your band descriptors, 5 says no overview. 6 says presents an overview. 7 says clear overview. All right? So that's super important. All right. Is that all we have in our introduction?
Could you repeat once more? 5, 6, and 7 consider overview. Once more.
Without overview, 6.
5
Without overview.
5 minutes.
Without overview. 7. Clear overview.
And 6.
It's in your band descriptors. It's in your band descriptors that I gave you. Okay. All right. Now, generally, per graph, how many paragraphs do you have? 1. Okay, good. If they give you 1 graph, generally it's going to be 1 body paragraph. 2 graphs. 2 paragraphs. Good. 3 graphs. Maybe. All right. It depends on the topic. If you have like 1 overall topic and 3 graphs, it'll be 1 paragraph. If you have 2 kind of topics, it'll be different. But generally speaking, yeah, 1 graph, 1 paragraph. Yes.
We have 3 pie charts. What we can compare and contrast all of them in.
Sure.
In one
In
pie.
one-
Sure. Right. So I mean,
In one pie chart compares the scales.
it's better if you do all of that. If you can compare within them and compare between them. If it's under the same topic,
Yeah.
go ahead, of course. as much as you want to describe it as much as you possibly can in 20 minutes in 150 words.
But, sorry, why you have to divide 40 paragraphs for different paragraphs if you have this comparison between several graphs?
Right, if it's under one topic. Right? So if you have like education over, like 10-year period, and in that 10-year period you have this year, and this year. So that's 3 different graphs with 3 different years. Well, it's under one topic, and you really don't have to separate it into 3 different time periods because you should be comparing and contrasting between the years, or at least talking about the trend. Okay. All right, good. So, what's paragraph structure for each paragraph in task 1? Well, yeah, of course you're comparing and but what about paragraph structure?
Also, Wednesday.
There you go. Good. You're going to have your topic sentence, which is your main idea, okay, for that graph. Then what else?
Main idea is a main graph or what?
No, translator.
Main idea.
Well, the main idea would be what the title of the graph would be, right? So if you have how many pigs flew over a 10-year period, right? So you would have the number of pigs on the y-axis and the years on the x-axis.
So topic sentence
Would be that, yeah, sure. Okay.
So,
So for that graph, hold on, for that graph, that would be the main idea.
X equal X.
More or less, yeah. Yeah. So what's on the x-axis from what to what, and then from year to year, okay? Or if you have different graphs, it'll be the title of that graph.
especially
Alright, so then you have,
position, we don't ask our position. I have a question.
hold on,
Reference.
okay. Now each description, each compare and contrast that you do, right, will be a supporting idea. The details, of course, will be the year, what you're talking about, pigs or something, pigs that fly, be an interesting graph, and the years, the amounts. So, of course, the same thing, the who, what, when, where, how, and why. All right? Your question?
What's the difference between topic sentence and the main and the task?
Okay, well, the task is what is written, overall. It'll say this, the graph below shows blah, 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 blah.
And
Okay?
topic sentence?
Yeah, the topic sentence would be what the title of that graph, that particular graph is. Because remember, sometimes you have 2 different graphs.
But if you
Okay?
have only one.
Or at least it would be the scale, right? So from 0 to 10,000, right, on the y-axis.
But
So
is
you
it
would-
not an overview?
Hold on. You would say, like the chart shows, right, the amount of people from 0 to 10,000, right, and then maybe the year, right? So, example, line graph, right? You have a y-axis, you have an x-axis. Yeah? So let's say this is 0 to 10,000. Okay? That would be the scale, 0 to 10,000. This would be 2000 to 2012. That would be the years. Okay? And then you would at least have to say something like that.
And
Okay?
sometimes it's just like in a task they told you that this graph shows that.
Yeah, that is the task.
Apply from blah blah blah.
That is the task. Well, then you repeat it, you paraphrase it. The reason why I'm telling you this is because sometimes they have 2 graphs. One would be the amount the pigs fly, and the amount would be the amount of the chickens fly. All right? So, I mean, those individual graphs have 2 different main ideas. Right? That's why. Okay, so, what goes between supporting ideas?
Linking words.
Linking words. Of course, between each description that you give, you need a linking word. at how many you give,
Not too much.
you're going to need a linking word again. Okay? Because, right, a lot of times people will make these the paragraphs. No, it's not the paragraph. That's a individual description, right? It's got to stay with the main idea. So, what should go at the end? A conclusion. What should the conclusion be?
Briefly short.
Hmm?
Briefly and short.
Briefly and short what?
Paraphrasing?
Paraphrase the overview at least. It is the logical conclusion to all of this. Remember, you need a clear overview, right? You got one here, you got one there. You got a clear overview. Now, how many words does this have? 150 words. Should you worry about those words?
No.
Why not?
You have to worry about your structure.
Well, of course, the structure. But if you add details, if you're very detailed in your description and you compare and contrast, okay, you're going to get 150 words anyways.
Or even more.
Or even more. Right. So should you add an analysis?
No.
No. Don't analyze. Only describe what's on the graph. That's it.
You must analyze and describe trends.
No, you don't analyze. I said don't analyze. Describe the trends. Don't analyze. If you do an analysis, that's what we call irrelevant information. Okay? So, for example, if you have the graph about pigs flying, right? And you say, well, the reason why so many pigs are flying in comparison to chickens is because we have airplanes now. But it's not on the graph. The reason why is not on the graph. So you're just describing.
Trend may be described as idea in common and its results. Conclusion.
Trend.
Okay. All right. Any questions about all this?
General trend.
I have one thing to add here. What type of sentences should you be writing?
Complex.
Complex, absolutely. Should you be repeating words?
No.
No. Find the best way to paraphrase everything.
And try to avoid clear data.
Try to avoid what?
Clear data, no, clear amounts. No? Or describe
What do you mean by clear amount?
again. Start from
Values.
Start from this value and finish at this value. Start from this value. And
That
finish.
is values.
Oh, yeah, the trend. Like if it grows 10, you already have the original value. It grows 10 to blah, blah, blah. If you want to compare it against another statistic, right? It grows from this value to this value. And this is the difference between the other statistic. Okay? So briefly, let's say here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this one goes like this, and that one goes like that, okay, between May and June, you would say, well, in May it starts out at 2,
Yes, and
okay,
finish at 3.
and 5 for whatever this value is. However, while the dotted line strongly increases, the single line, right, strongly decreases, and in June, right, creates a difference of 1. Okay? And you can also add that's at 3, that's at 5, to try to paraphrase the best you possibly can. Of course, that's one description. Right?
Listen, I think we don't have no ideas. Can we describe a single line?
Not a good
Actually,
idea.
This will be.
So you're talking about it going like this. Well, this does this, and then that does that, and that, and then that, right?
Right.
And then that does that, and that does that, and that. No, no. Compare and contrast them at the same time, right? From one point to another point. So there you go. While this is doing that, that's doing that. Although this is doing this, that's doing that.
Can we go backwards? Start from the start and
That's an
finish?
interesting idea. Probably not. So you can start over here in
No, no, no.
July?
Start
Well, in
from-
July it did this, but previous to that, in
No,
June.
start from May, finish in July, and then again start from May.
You're still talking about one line. No, don't do the one line thing.
No, we're comparing in two lines. Starting from May, finishing in July, and getting like 100 words, I see it's not enough, and start again from May till July.
Why would you
It will be wrong?
Why would you want to repeat the idea?
No, different,
Okay,
different
hold
idea.
on. I'm saying the best way, right, is to go from May to June, right? Compare and contrast that, right? Go from June to July, compare and contrast. I don't know what you mean by go to June and then go back again. I don't,
This will be wrong.
sure, it doesn't sound right. Any more questions?